The story opens when we find an old banker feeling a little worried as he recalls the party he had hosted 15 years back. He remembered that the clever and sagacious persons assembled in the party were discussing capital punishment. The majority had objected to death penalty, considering it an obsolete and immoral practice unsuitable for a Christian state. But the banker called it moral and humane, as it kills instantly as against life imprisonment, which compels a person to drag on an empty life for many years and thus kills him slowly, at least in spirit. One of the guests called both the punishments immoral. Another guest, a lawyer of 25, preferred life imprisonment to the death penalty, on the reasonable ground that it gives an opportunity to a person to live a new kind of life after the completion of the term. During the discussion, the banker got excited, lost his temper, and waged 2 million rubles if the lawyer stays for 5 years in a cell. The young lawyer got ready to spend not 5 but 15 years for that huge amount. Thus, the bet was agreed upon. However, the banker advised the lawyer to do some rethinking and not to waste his valuable years in a fit of impulse. The lawyer was firm and stuck to his decision. The garden wing of the banker's house was selected to be the cell. The lawyer was not to cross the threshold, see any living being, hear any human voices, or receive any newspapers and letters. He was, however, permitted to play on musical instruments, read books, write letters, drink, and smoke. A window was made for his written communication. Any violation of these restrictions, according to the agreement, would free the banker from paying him the fixed amount of money. The lawyer faced loneliness in the first year of his confinement. He did neither drink nor smoke. He would play the piano all the time. He read novels of romance, stories of crime, and fantasy comedies. In the second year, he read classics and left playing the piano. In the fifth year of his isolated detention, the lawyer played music again and asked for wine. Eating, drinking, and lying on the bed were his main activities. He would yawn and talk to himself angrily. Sometimes he would write for hours and tear the papers in the morning. More than once he wept. In the second half of the sixth year, the lawyer enthusiastically started studying the languages, philosophy, and history. The banker had to buy 600 volumes in the period of 4 years. During this period, the prisoner wrote a letter to the banker in 6 languages without any error. The letter expressed his happiness and satisfaction over learning those languages. After the 10th year, the lawyer concentrated on the New Testament. The banker felt somehow surprised to find him busy with a book which, according to him, was neither bulky nor difficult to understand. After the New Testament, he read history of religion and theology. During the last 2 years of his lonely imprisonment, the prisoner read voraciously. Now he would read Byron or Shakespeare, and then chemistry, medicine, philosophy, or theology, or some novel. The banker recalled all that and got worried about the payment of the bet. His recklessness, gambling, and risky speculations had ruined him. He had become an ordinary banker who would shiver at every rise and fall in the market. He cursed himself for entering into the whimsical bet with the lawyer. He also imagined the lawyer walking away with his money and leaving him bankrupt and disgraced. Consequently, he decided to kill the lawyer. The banker took the key that had not been used for 15 years and started for the cell. It was raining and it was dark and cold. He called out the watchman but received no answer. He found it a suitable opportunity. He noticed the unbroken seal on the door of the cell. When he peeped through the window, He saw a candle burning and the lawyer sitting motionlessly by the table. He tapped on the window, but the lawyer didn't stir. Then he unlocked the door, opened it, and expected the lawyer to be amazed, but still there was no reaction. The lawyer had become a mere skeleton with long curly hair and a shaggy beard. He had become yellow and had sunken cheeks and skinny hands. He appeared to be older than he actually was. There was a sheet of written paper on the table. The banker felt satisfied to find it easy to kill the half-dead soul. But before that he preferred to read the paper. The content of the paper carried the philosophy of the lawyer whose solitary confinement and diligent study had turned him into a saint. The lawyer had written that after 15 years he disliked freedom, life, health, and the blessings of the world. He added that he studied about earthly life with care and perseverance. The books he read became a source of pleasure and adventures for him. The lawyer admitted in the letter that books had made him wiser and cleverer than others. The letter of the lawyer also showed his dislike for books and wisdom. He called everything to be void, temporary, tempting, and illusory like a mirage. He wrote that death, which is the ultimate reality, spared nobody and ruined everything. He called people mad as they assumed falsehood to be true and ugliness to be beauty. He found people's thinking and behavior strange, but he wished not to understand them. In order to show his contempt for the worldly things, he wrote that he would free the banker from the payment of 2,000,000 rubles by leaving the cell just 5 minutes before the stipulated time and deliberately violate the agreement. The contents of the letter came as a big surprise to the banker. He put the paper down, kissed the strange man, and started weeping. He had never felt such contempt and hatred for himself as he felt while leaving that room. He was restless and failed to sleep for a long time. In the morning, the watchman came running and told the banker that the prisoner had just left his room and disappeared. The banker immediately went to the cell and found the report correct. He took the piece of paper containing the renunciation of the lawyer on his return and locked it in his safe as a precious possession.